let's get started. I know I'm going to run out of time. I want to thank everybody.
We just started.
But I know. I've got questions upon questions. Charlie's going to sit in. Charlie's the engineer.
I expound way too much. So.
And the co-owner of the Flying Carpet Studios. I hope everything is hooked up.
Maybe.
And I hope more than maybe. We're not going to put headsets on because we
got closed captioning. So we
got
don't have any sound.
So we got the cameras set up. Hopefully the cameras will be well and the images will be good. We're doing the best we can. And let's just get started. Let's get started. Pamela. Good morning, Pamela. Tell us who you are. Pamela, your last name, go ahead.
Pamela Sisson.
Pamela, how do you say that?
Sisson.
And I want to swear you in. Do you prefer the Bible, the Quran, or the Yellow Pages?
The Yellow Pages is good for me.
Wow, the Yellow Pages, just wonderful. We won't question you. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? So help you God while you're on Dead Air, L.A.?
Absolutely.
Thank you. And we have Kii Arens.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Much appreciated.
The Quran, the Bible, or the Yellow Pages?
I'll do the Yellow Pages as well.
As well
as Pamela.
Kii, do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth to help you God while you're on Dead Air, L.A.?
Certainly do.
All right. Charlie, you've been sworn in previously. There's no need to do that.
I like that.
And,
a bunch of heathens here today.
And I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas. And I hope you got all the gift cards you wanted. Did you get what you wanted?
Yeah.
And
nothing, because that's how we all grew up.
And thank you to Bad Ashley. That's Bad Ashley, a band out of Brooklyn
That's
who
cool.
plays the song,
Nice.
and they're wonderful. And they gave us the last podcast. They gave us a holiday themed music. So I want to shout out to Bad Ashley.
Shout out to them.
And thank you for everything that you do.
Can't wait for them to get a tuner.
So
Cartoon? Thought it was a little key.
I want to start with the weather real quick. Again, some of these
They're called numbers.
These weather will, when this podcast airs, they won't be. If I say the moon is so and so, and then you look up and you say this is not
It'll
the moon,
be there.
It'll
I just checked my
be
grandfather's
there, but
clock.
it may not be. I'm just trying to cover my tracks. I don't want any problems. So today the temperature is 67 degrees, 19.4 degrees Celsius. The biometric pressure is 30.19 inches of mercury. The dew point is 39 degrees or 3.9 degrees Celsius. Very, very common for this time of year, wouldn't you say? The winds are 3 miles an hour east out of the west. The moon is a waxing crescent. The moon rise will be at 1:50 p.m. and it'll set at 4:55 p.m. Has anybody ever really saw the moon set?
No.
Unbelievable. No. If you're near the water of any kind of body of water, it gives you the same visual as a sunset. You know how a sunset will go on this. It's amazing. I used to work over near the beach community, and I'd catch coming in early for work.
The moon
catch
set.
Wow.
The moon set over the water. Unbelievable. Have you seen it, Charlie?
Yeah, I've seen it. We shoot at it.
The high tide is going to be at 12:45 p.m. There's a high surf warning. So be careful.
Right
be
now,
careful of.
Not going in.
Be careful of those
huh?
undertows. Are unbelievable. Humidity is 47%. The ultraviolet rays are 0. Wow. That's a shocker. And the air quality is 53 or moderate. And the visibility is 10 miles, as usually it is. And the
Good day
chance
to
of
fly.
rain or precipitation is 0. So that's the weather. I hope the moon will be 6%. 6% of the moon will be visible tonight. And so let's start right off so our listeners know who we're dealing with. Tell us about yourself. Tell us a little about yourself. Pamela.
I am a photographer and graphic designer. New to Los Angeles about 1.5 years ago, 2 years. And
Where did you come from?
New York City.
Wow.
New York for the previous 9.5 years.
Did you ever feel like someone was going to push you onto the tracks?
Always. In fact, I think it happened a few times, actually.
Oh, my God. How frightening.
It is frightening. It's very dangerous now.
Most subways throughout the world, modern subways, they only opens when the train comes in. The rest of it is all clear glass, a clear plexiglass. So it's very safe. Yeah. It's very modern. You've been to a New York City subway, you feel like you're.
Well, we're dealing with a system that hasn't been updated since...
It's the 1800s,
yeah. Since the 1800s. So it's every man for himself down there.
The last subway I was in Moscow, which is even older.
Wow.
Anyway.
So, have you ever lived in New York, Kai?
Yeah, I did. I moved there in '90 to make it as a rap artist.
Jeez.
As you can tell, it went great.
So how long have you been? How long you been in L.A.?
Oh, just about 2 years.
And you're the Comedy Store photographer.
I am.
Wonderful.
I immersed myself into the comedy scene when I arrived,
Capturing history.
capturing history.
Now, what do you do with a person like me who doesn't have a good side?
You have many good you find a good side.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Everybody has a good side. You have to find it.
You look great, and thanks for coming on Dead Air today. Dead Air
Yeah,
LA.
yeah.
Supplemental income from TMZ when I get a little too drunk up there.
Now, my next podcast guest is just. I'm very excited that you're here today.
Thanks, man.
Kii Arens, and I'm just gonna read a little about this gentleman so that everybody knows the caliber of guests that this podcast is getting today, and I'm very happy to have you here. One of the most credible and influential in Los Angeles, the award-winning Kii Arens is a critical driver in the creation of modern pop culture, a contemporary American pop artist, graphic designer, photographer, director, and musician. His personal work has been in art galleries all over the world. Kii credits Saturday mornings in the 70s spent watching Sid and Marty Krofft as some of his main inspirations. Never formally trained, this St. Paul native grew up with a fascination for album covers, vintage logos, and has created over 500 pieces for artists such as Dolly Parton, the Rolling Stones, Lady Gaga, Radiohead, Paul McCartney,
Wow.
Casey Musgraves, Bernie Sanders, Beck, Devo, Diana Ross, Lana Del Rey, The Doors, one of my favorite. I used to, back in the 80s in the Air Force.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders, wow.
To dream the impossible dream.
Yeah, he had a good message, but the powers that be would not give him the key to
Zapped
the
him
door.
out. Oh, God.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
America's
there.
not built the way we thought it was.
Yeah.
And
Corruption interfered with.
the Replacements, Hollywood, Sanders, Beck, Devo, Diana Ross, which could be one of the best vocalists, top three, if not top two. And I don't know why, just because nobody can make money on it, they don't play more of Diana Ross on the radio. It's just,
She's the best.
God, what a voice!
Theme
What
from
a
Mahogany
freaking voice!
Kills me every time.
Pixies, Glenn Campbell. I was listening to it last night. One of my favorite songs, the long distance
Lineman for
lineman.
the town.
Oh
Yeah.
my God!
Wichita lineman.
Which-
I directed his last 3 music videos all while he had Alzheimer's. Yeah, that was amazing, and got to know him and his family quite well.
I almost killed him.
You did?
Yeah.
By accident?
Yeah.
Did you electrocute him on stage?
No, I was up on the truss and we were focusing, and I dropped a gel frame and it landed like right next to him.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that was nice.
What year?
That was back in '82.
Are we going to be safe in here, Charlie?
Wow.
Is anything going to drop on our heads in here?
This is in here because
Check the
I'm
duct
Suddenly
prone
feeling-
to dropping
Keep an eye
things.
out.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
82.
Pixies, Glenn Campbell, The Replacements, Hollywood Bowl, Coachella, and a Desert Trip, widely considered the most successful festival ever to take place. And, excuse me, he recently directed music videos for Elton
Wow.
John.
Do you handle all that stuff? I'm impressed.
Was featured prominently in the 2020 Oscars, I'm Gonna Love Me Again.
Yeah.
Has served well as the visual accompaniment for the heavily nominated and award-winning song. Other videos include Devo, Queen of the Stone Age, Pixies, Glenn Campbell, and more. So, holy
Yeah,
cow.
I don't sit still.
Talk about a Renaissance man.
Thank you.
You all got your
I've heard that
fingers
word a
in
few
everything.
times.
Everything.
I-
That's the definition of somebody who's a Ben Franklin type. You know, he's an inventor. He's a politician. He's a statesman. He's an orator. Just
A lot of stuff, man.
Yeah.
He does
a lot
well.
of stuff that you're good at.
Yes, he's great at it.
And I guess my next big question is, who can afford you? You're
know
probably
what?
you're probably unaffordable to most people.
You know, it all depends. Like, it's a passion. Almost everything that you've made almost. I'm just trying to think. Everything that you read there is something that I really enjoy. Somebody I really enjoy. So if it's it's fitting of you got an upcoming artist that needs some design or needs a music video, and I believe in the song. I've been there before. I'll do whatever it takes. Hit me on the back end, you know.
That's right.
You know, even like
We'll
when
work it out.
when I did the Van Halen poster, I wasn't hired. I just knew they were playing the Hollywood Bowl, and I decided to make a poster for it. And then I sent it down to the Hollywood Bowl. Van Halen saw it, then asked for a bunch of copies, and unfortunately, I designed Van Halen's last concert poster that way.
Wow.
So build it, and they will come, like a field of dreams.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
And you get a lot of free tickets to the Hollywood Bowl all the time, anytime?
All the time. Everything. I get a lot of free stuff, which is very cool.
Interesting.
But, you know,
So you're
provide people with something that they don't expect. It's like when you create something, sometimes if somebody has a preconceived notion of the way it's going to turn out, you can never live up to it. But when you just surprise them, they're fucking blown away. And you also get into their heart a little bit because they can't believe that somebody did that for them. So the next time it comes to do something, they just hand you the reins.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely correct about that.
Yeah, it's kind of like taking a plane up to like 5,000 feet and knocking back plane, just nose over with somebody with you. Just go, okay, that's it. That's all you made it.
You know why? You know why I think it's true is because when you ask people to do stuff,
They don't do it.
a lot of times you're disappointed.
Yep.
So when they see something that just knocks them over,
Right.
the connection is made and they don't want to go anyplace else.
That's right.
And you kind of just got in their head and you took the information of who they are, what they do, and you developed something that they just had no imagination.
Well, and another prime example of that was I have a show called Life of Kii that it's kind of my COVID baby that I'm pushing out to various entities and hopefully get a network to pull on it. You can find it on my website, kiiarens.com, under Life of Kii. But I interviewed and worked with Mick Rock, rest in peace, one of the finest rock photographers, and I just said I did something for you based on my favorite photo and image of David Bowie, which I brought for you, Brian, which is this piece of art.
Whoa, look at that.
Holy cow.
So this was born out of like, had I described what I wanted to do, he might have been, no, you can't touch my David Bowie image. But if you do it and show it to him, and then he was like, oh my God, and what are we going to do next? But this is for you.
Holy
For inviting me
shit.
down here. This is a new piece of art.
Holy cow.
That's from the Life.
This is for me.
Yeah, sure.
Backpack.
That's from the Life on Mars music video.
Wow. Can you see that?
It's beautiful.
Can you see that?
And it's kind of an interesting printing process on that foil paper.
Can you see that? Charlie, can you
amazing.
step out
That-
so the
yes.
Can you just, no, I mean,
Thanks.
get out of the room.
I'll
No,
get out. Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Holy cow. Thank you, Kai.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's,
That's
the way to
not
do it,
amazing.
yeah.
Wow, look at the detail.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I feel
Yeah.
bad because
I got a sticker. What are you talking about? I love this.
I feel bad because I know you're into the 70s and everything, and I have this for you. But this doesn't compare to what you gifted me, so I don't know.
Pez is pure pop art. Look at that logo. Look at that color combination. Thank you.
Wow.
I love it. Thank you.
So I guess my big question is, and I don't want you to take. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing this because, in the honor of two talented individuals in the arts. You know how artists are always.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Very artsy, yes, yes.
I wanted it to be
Bring in
artsy, yeah.
the ascot back.
Brian,
I like this look.
So what is that asshole wearing on his neck? But that's what this is for.
I took note of that.
I did too. I was jealous that I wasn't wearing a silk.
I got
know,
this in
I know.
Egypt. I got this in, I think, Egypt, or I don't know whether it was Egypt, Israel, or India.
I like Egypt.
he's in pre-pharaoh training right now.
And so let me ask this question before I start on a little items here, because and no disrespect, because I know you're probably a big fan of Andy Warhol.
Yes.
The fame and the fortune that gentleman accomplished is just It's unbelievable. Whether it's right time, right place, who knows? But tell us about the damn Campbell's soup can. Because I look at that and I say somebody just made a picture of a Campbell's soup can. A freaking Campbell's soup can. I don't get it. I want to. But tell us, because this guy was unbelievable. He was known in circles and circles. I mean, the fame and the fortune that he garnered. Tell us just briefly, or as best as you can, about this Campbell's soup can. This phenomenon.
I think it was the middle finger. I think it was punk rock. You know, he was a graphic designer working for a big corporation, and he thought, what if I repeated this image over and over and fooled everybody into thinking that this is art? Even though, in a way, it is that perfect color combination of the red and white. It's balanced very well.
Well, there's only
we
five
all
main...
love soup. When you think soup,
right.
You think warm, you think, and bam, took it to the... I mean, he did it with Brillo. He did it with a lot of things. And I, too, am obsessed with branding and logos and designs like that. So that's what I think it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was just punk rock.
So did he... So he was
giving the finger to high art, which is a concept.
Because it caught on like wildfire.
Wildfire.
Yeah.
Yep. And he silk screened so many different color combinations and didn't even really care if anything was completely lined up. In fact, the imperfections is what increased the value of a lot of the pieces as well.
The quirks, yeah.
I bet you can see images of Campbell's soup cans in wealthy, well-to-do homes all over the world.
I want one so bad. Yes. I'm completely hooked, line and sinker, to Andy Warhol.
And he used the basic, I think, advertising or product coloring. There's like 5 basic colors that they continue, because that's the ones that catch your eyes.
That's
the blue,
right.
the red,
black, the gold.
All your candy packaging, all your packaging in the supermarket, they're all the same. I don't know, 5 colors.
It's like
you would
that fucking
know.
red phone. It's
Right.
perfect. That red phone is art. To me, that's art.
Right.
It's...
And you can hang up on somebody. That's what sucks about the cell phone today. You don't get that. The younger people don't know what I'm talking
no
about.
I broke my phone.
Yeah.
The click.
Yeah, you don't get that satisfaction.
You don't get
Bam.
the click. Remember, you used to be able to hang up on
Yeah,
people. You
slam
just
it.
click it.
Yeah.
And you'd hear that click, and it would
Now you
just...
can throw your
Who's
phone,
the last
you know.
person you hung up on?
Probably Charlie.
Yeah, that's probably true. Sometimes I just randomly call him at 3 a.m. in the morning and see what he's doing. You know, he's usually getting off work, or I
But
woke him up.
this is... Thank you so much. This is too much.
Thank you.
I don't think this is from a gentleman of. I have a friend who's an artist too. His name is Glenn Hansen.
Bigger beans.
He was an instructor at the big art school. What's the one the actors go to? Juilliard.
Oh yeah.
And now he's got on Long Island. He does sketches and oils and
Cool.
Long Island.
And,
Long Island.
Holtzman trivia moment. Who was Andy Warhol's girlfriend? Edie Sedgwick. Oh, yeah. I got
Cool.
to see her run butt-ass naked down Fifth Avenue one time. It was a party. And she was really...
What year was this?
Oh, boy, this has been 73, maybe 74, something like that.
Were you living in New York at that time
Yeah,
period?
I was up there on a project. But, yeah, and we went to a party, and somebody, I guess, gave her a speedball. She didn't know what it was. It was like, you know, just assorted and sundry party helpings on the table. And somebody said, okay, well, you ever check this out? What? Oh, yeah, okay, I'll check that.
And she went
was
for a run.
She had like a little flower kind of mini dress on. And he goes, blap. And she just gets up, looks around like this, takes off out the door, runs to the elevator, rips her dress off, goes downstairs, running full speed down Fifth Avenue, and like 5 people chasing her with a blanket, and somebody, Edie, come
That's
back.
awesome.
I was like, whoa.
And you were just randomly...
there, you know, new to that whole...
Did you go to any Warhol parties?
That was one of them, but
how
after
old were
that,
you,
I
Charlie?
said, well,
How old were you?
man,
Can
I
you
was
remember
like,
about?
17, 18, about there.
And you were living in New York City?
I was up there doing a record project, yeah.
What record project?
That one was Foghat, as a matter of fact.
Fucking...
Yeah, that was Stone Blue.
She was a fool for the city.
Stone Blue.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, help me through. Yeah, that was it. But that one's Fool for the City did great. You know, Stone Blue was a little. Well, we ended up playing clubs in the end there, but
I remember that. But
yeah.
You know, can't stay on top for all time.
You got 5 years of a good roll.
That's a good. That's a good number. It's a good number.
Yeah.
What do you think about Banksy?
Oh, I love him. Super
So do I.
super thought out, always genius at every turn.
Yes.
The message
Always
is there.
genius.
The message is right there.
You know, I people always go, but yeah, it's like just a stencil, and it's like, yeah, it doesn't have to be art school, man, to connect.
Yeah.
It's the idea and how it's executed.
That's what I talk about with the comedy. You know, if you go to a museum and you see a painting you don't care for, you just go to the next painting. You don't
True.
try to shut down the museum.
But there's always somebody.
Right.
There's always right.
Yeah,
That's a good way to
right.
put it. But there's always somebody there to see the one that you didn't want to see.
That's right.
Right. You have
And then
different
the fight
different people
on
connect with
afterwards,
different
about that
things and
painting,
different
everybody else.
comedians.
And that's why
yeah.
you can't worry about when you don't please certain people. Good. I mean, fucking, you're never gonna please
No, I
everyone.
don't try to please the critics because that's just never going to work.
So true.
Yep.
I love that Edie Sedgwick segue.
Yeah.
That Sedgwick
Yes,
segue.
Sedgwick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go over some of the people we lost in 2021. You want to do that? If it gets too morose, we can just stop.
Well,
Since this is the first
Get depressed, you mean?
the first podcast of the new year, 2022. This is the first.
this
you
is
guys
it.
are the first.
Let's process this.
Reminds me of
We lost Larry King.
Yeah.
We lost Larry Flint. We lost.
depressing.
We lost Beverly Cleary, children's author. And this has always bugged me. I don't know what you think about this. How hard is it to write a children's book? You know, the dog took a walk.
Yeah.
Bob kicked the. You know, it's just like they make such a big deal that they wrote a children's book. How hard it is to talk to children. You know, I saw a children's book. I've looked in them. It's like there's one with a pigeon. You know, and they have the diagram, the pigeon. You know, it's just like, you know, just.
If you're in the proper writing space, like I hop in my playpen when I write children's books, you know?
I don't know. I think to create a series of children's book is a whole different, matter, right?
And actually doing it.
yes, actually doing it.
That requires
And who
not
wants-
being ADD. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, John.
No, I mean, creating a series, you
Right.
know, yeah, it requires at least not putting the ADD in the basement for a minute. Because you got to keep your message consistent, and you have to make forward progress.
Right.
So
Usually.
you're sticking up for children's books writers.
No, I was thinking of for ADD, but
I mean, I was hooked on those when I was a teenager. Some of those.
yeah,
We've lost Cloris Leachman, Cicely Tyson,
Yeah.
Christopher Plummer, Richard Donner,
my preliminary.
Hollywood director in the 80s, The Omen, Superman, Lethal Weapon. He died, 91. Cicely Tyson was 96.
Wow.
These entertainers just don't want to die. They
No.
really don't.
Yeah.
I can't believe what's her name died on New Year's Eve. That was kind of selfish.
Ooh.
Yeah, Betty.
Betty White.
Oh,
She
Betty.
couldn't wait till Monday or the Friday before, Thursday before. I mean, just ruining everybody's New Year's.
Yeah.
Ed Asner, he was 91. That cantankerous
What
son
a
of a
great
gun.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very active in
A lot of stuff.
Charities.
positive endeavors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's true.
You know, he had consideration for other people,
And he has such an edge, too. Till the day.
Oh, yeah.
and it cost him some work too.
I'll bet.
I bet, yeah. More.
Who's this? Michael K. Williams, a dancer.
Well, a friend of mine, Michael Lang,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I
Michael Lang.
started Woodstock.
Yeah, exactly. He did.
I got my art start with Michael Lang. That one hit
Sweet.
me hard.
I got my sound start with Bill Hanley, who did sound for Woodstock.
Oh, my God.
You were involved in the Woodstock
That's what it
too.
Yeah, I was.
Nice.
I was the
Wow.
designer by happenstance for Woodstock 94. They started showing up with tie-dye designs, and I was the hotel coordinator for the event. I just was going to be a part of it any way I wanted, any way I could. And then...
You updated it though.
well, yeah,
they wanted
the guy
to go.
goes,
They wanted to just like
I said,
do it.
Michael, what's with the tie-dye? Do you guys know what Nine Inch Nails and Green Day is
Yeah.
all about? And he's like, well, what would you do? I'm just thinking off the cuff. I just
Modernize
go,
it. It's
I'm
not
gonna
1964
burn the
or whatever
Woodstock
it was.
logo in the middle of a sunflower.
Yeah.
And he goes, I love it. And I showed up the next day with that image.
Sweet.
As I was driving home, there was a field of sunflowers, and I yanked one, put it in the scanner, and still knew how to do Photoshop back in '94.
great.
Anyway,
So how do people get in touch with you if they want you to commission something, do they have to go through someone else, or they can
me.
call you directly?
I want to be the manager.
Well, you contact me through Instagram is fine,
Right,
or on my
that's right,
website.
social media, yeah,
but
yeah.
but I have a manager that handles. I talk creative and I don't talk business,
Wow.
which is nice.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
I need one of those managers.
Well, it's better when somebody else sells you.
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And he gives referrals, so don't worry about that.
Dean Stockwell. We lost Dean Stockwell. And
Still waiting on the list. Haven't heard the name yet.
Somebody's calling from the past.
Hello,
Yeah, Brian.
speaking.
Hey, this is Michael.
Hey, Mike. What's up?
You got a chance to take a quick ride to John?
Not today. I'm in the middle of the podcast.
Oh, good luck.
I'll call you. I'll call you a little later, but maybe later this afternoon. How's that?
Well, I'm completely out of laundry detergent.
Well, you can borrow some laundry detergent. Just go knock on the door and ask Rose. We got plenty of laundry detergent.
I'm funny that way, and I don't know how to read directions because I went and bought a whole gallon of Gain, and it's all Mexican.
Okay. All right. I'll contact you later. We'll take care of it.
That's all.
Okay, well, I'll call Howard if he's not doing anything.
Okay. Thank you, Mike.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah.
did you guys hear that?
Yeah. Did he say that the directions were written in Mexican?
Yes, he did. That was my neighbor, Mike, and he's a senior citizen. So we lost Dean Stockwell, everybody's favorite actor. And of course, just recently we lost Bob Saget,
That's right.
Yeah.
Meatloaf, and now Louis Anderson.
Yeah.
I was with my buddy Jeff when they called about Bob. That was tough. Jeff Ross.
Oh yeah, Jeff.
They're really tight.
Yeah.
God.
I remember telling.
Such a cool guy.
I remember telling Jeff when he goes to New York. I said, "Do you stay with your parents?" No, I have my own house, Holtzman. I told that to the guy at the Rainbow too. He used to go back and what was his name?
At the Rainbow.
The guy who used to own the Rainbow.
I don't know that guy's name, but I know what you're talking about. He's
And
always
I
at the
said
door
the same
being
thing
nice.
to him. He used to keep going to the Vegas all the time. Mario,
Stay with your
the
parents.
owner of the Rainbow and the Roxy. I told him once. I said, when you go to Vegas, what hotel do you stay in? He said, hotel. I own my own house.
The Roxy, huh? He owned the Roxy.
Phil Spector.
That's a wild, wild child.
Poor-
Yeah.
That's
that's why
a roller
women,
coaster.
you got to watch out who you hang out with.
That's true.
right.
No
That's
women
right.
in the world should have been hanging around
Yeah, they
with
might-
some guy. If you're hanging around with a guy who likes guns and is
Yeah.
always
Next
playing
thing you
with
know,
guns, you may not want to hang around that guy.
And you might not be
It's
able
a
to
red
leave
flag.
either.
If you don't know what the story that he died, he was 81. He shot a woman in the face.
Yeah.
Terrible,
Yeah.
sad
She
story.
tried to leave to the hostage situation.
Mary Wilson,
Yes.
76.
Great singer.
DMX, he was
Earl.
only 50. I think.
We're doing that right now. We have his library. Do you know that?
No, I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, we do. Seriously.
Wow.
How the hell did you get his
Library.
library? That must have cost a pretty penny. What are you?
Well, yeah, it was
you
actually.
maybe I should swear you in. Are you on?
Okay, you can if you want, but it's
No,
true.
no, I believe you. I guess you should believe him.
Yeah.
I guess.
Seven Arts Films went bankrupt, and they had DMX catalog, and so he came to us and said, "Hey, do you think maybe you could buy my catalog because I don't want it going out to 185 different people." He had about 300 or 400 tracks in it, so. A good friend of mine, Howard, bought it, and we said, "Yeah, we'll hold on to it. When you get to a better situation, you can buy it back. We're cool. We never did anything, never exploited it or anything." And then, lo and behold, last year, Earl died, and so we're taking all the proceeds from that. We're starting to exploit it now, and to make it, remix it and make it relevant for today's market. So 50% of all the proceeds of that are going to go to the family because Earl had 17 kids. And
He toured a lot.
do you know what the first thing? Yeah. You know the first thing he got arrested for? It's a true story.
funny.
Absolutely true story. You know the first thing he got arrested for? Stealing a junkyard dog, an actual pit bull junkyard dog. You know how mean those things are?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Meaner than a junkyard
Junkyard
dog?
dog.
Yeah, and he stole the dog. Came right with him. And every time people go to watch my dog, he'll go right over and pet him. It's amazing how
Never
he just
thought
has
about
a way with
stealing
dogs.
a dog.
Yeah, junkyard dog, mean one. Get a mean one because
Jesus.
We lost Don Everly. Charlie Watts.
the other one is not me. Although might be close over here.
George, how many times have you seen the Stones?
6?
Wow. I haven't seen them once.
I haven't seen him either.
You should go, that's an amazing show. Mick Jagger is running around like a
Yeah.
football field.
Fucking
all
amazing.
night long. This speaker stack, that speaker stack, back over here, back over there, over there.
The last Rose Bowl show was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I saw the Desert Trip shows. I was like, I don't know what's going on anymore. But
Shattered
the heart and the soul was on that. You saw the Shattered tour.
Yeah.
Some girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Walter Mondale passed away. He was 93. Donald Rumsfeld is 88. He's dead. Colin Powell, we lost him, 84. Bob Dole was 98. We lost Tommy Lasorda, 93. Wow.
Hit the 90s. I love it.
Yeah.
Hank Aaron was 86. We lost Hank Aaron. Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Wow, really?
66. We lost Bernie Madoff, 82. Sheldon Adelson, 87, the billionaire casino magnate owner. John McAfee, that guy. You know about John McAfee?
No.
Yeah.
That's that tech guy that was
Tech
kind of
guy.
had a foggy
You
past.
write a virus and then sell you antivirus. That's how that works.
What was that?
He'd write viruses and then sell you the antivirus to get rid of it.
Creates the problem. Creates the problem.
Is that right?
Sells you the
true.
solution.
True story. Straight up.
Because he was on the lam for a long time. He
yeah.
was wanted
Yeah,
by
yeah.
that guy that was living in the Caribbean or something.
Oh,
Was it?
yeah.
Right.
That's dark.
And his neighbor
Yeah.
got killed or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a villain. So you're saying he was a villain?
You feeling sick? I can fix
I don't know
it.
if he's a villain.
Have you seen, villain? You know, villains are just not in movies. They're in real
Yeah,
life.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
They could have been.
And that's what I discovered after watching this last James Bond movie. Have you seen
Yeah.
it?
No, I didn't
Oh.
see it.
Is it good? I heard it's good.
It's
good?
convoluted. You'll see it for yourself, and we'll discuss it. But
Is it all manic
it's
and
not
disjointed and like all that?
It's a
Probably is.
different take on James Bond. But I came out of the theater going, "Wow,
Manic and confused. And
we've got real villains,
Historia.
and villains die villains. They don't."
Oh, yeah.
Only in the movies they change over a new leaf.
What'd
If
you
somebody's a villain in real life, they die a villain,
They go down a villain.
and they're a
Think
real
we
life
disbanded the family?
villains
Wow.
walking around on the
What?
planet. Just
For
Sure.
Louis, check this guy out. He's not feeling too good to me.
and we lost the lawyer, 87, F. Lee Bailey.
Guarded his offices in Boston. Sat in his chair.
So we lost quite a few, like we always do.
Oh, as they're called nowadays.
For some reason, it hit harder this year.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's just the times we're living in that kind of pushes that button a little further into the other world, crossing through the door.
If you have something to do with them spike proteins too.
Spike proteins, what?
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
COVID-19.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's kind of what I was alluding to. Yeah.
That's the new excuse. Don't you think so? For non-performance?
I don't know.
COVID-19?
You get a headache.
You are a child at heart.
That's true. Absolutely. You can take the hillbilly off the farm, but you can't take the hillbilly out of the dude. Something like that. Yeah.
This one is for you, Kai. This is
Okay.
tip of the week. This is Pro Painters Trade Secrets.
Propane.
Pro Painters
Oh, tipsy.
Trade Secrets. Buy extra buckets. Pros don't wipe their brushes on the lip of the can as they paint. They pour paint into a container that lets them tap the sides lightly after loading the brush tips with
right.
paint. Pouring between buckets is also the best way to mix paint, including the color consistency. Add paint extender. Lap marks on a wall are the telltale sign that the room has been painted by a novice.
You know how to get rid of
It's
that?
expensive to have somebody come in and paint your house.
It is.
It is.
It's not cheap. It's thousands of dollars.
Too much
Yeah.
For for regular people.
for everybody.
Trade secret. Bing, bing, bing. All you got to do is put a little antifreeze in your paint, and you won't have those lap marks anymore.
I think that's what they're
Damn.
saying.
Yeah, like
Additives such as fluorotrol slow drying times and level the applied paint, virtually eliminating brush strokes.
I got a Wagner Power paint, and I just tape off everything. The whole cloud in there, and it's all painted.
Inside?
Yeah.
You can use it inside?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to have a mask on.
Sometimes. When it gets thick.
That's how they do it now, right?
Yeah.
Bright boogers.
Yeah.
And
I paint the floors for free.
rewash each roller. To keep a new roller cover from leaving fuzz in the painted surface, wash it off using a touch of dish soap.
Or buy a bunch of rollers.
Wow.
Exactly.
Really?
Right.
Does that work?
It can be. It's easier than cleaning the damn roller.
I've had the
Plus,
same roller for
I like
18
making
years.
art out of the rollers.
My brother, it's getting a little hard. I've had the same roller for like 18 years. Is that really how you keep the stuff out of the wall?
I'm impressed, though. That's
Wow.
cool. I appreciate that.
It can be used.
Method.
Nice.
While it can be used while still damp. And the last one is one wall at a time. Don't tackle the entire room at once. Brushed sections and rolled sections blend together beautifully if, after cutting in the corners, you switch to the roller before the brushed paint dries. Well, lost me on that one.
I don't know. I use the TD
Buckets. Buckets for sure.
approach. I just use the TD approach. It's really, really easy.
I use house paint.
Tasmanian double, with the paint gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whole thing done in 5 minutes.
Boom.
These are some items of interest. Kai, this is another one for you.
Okay. Thank you.
So, how long you been photographing the comedy store now?
About 2 years. Year and a
You
half.
got any good stories? Tell us something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your biggest personality so far besides?
Last week, right?
Well, Dave Chappelle was in.
Right.
Last Friday night, he popped in, and I was able to photograph him for the first time. So that was, it was fantastic to see
Yeah,
him.
he was there. He went up in the main room, and we were very surprised. He only did 15 minutes, which is nice.
Yeah.
So we all got to go, and he was in a very beautiful mood. He was just come from the funeral of Bob
Friday.
Saget.
Yeah.
That was, and on Saturday night they came in too.
They had a little wake
A little
kind
like a
of
tribute,
celebration up in the belly room. But I told the audience, everybody's so happy to see Dave Chappelle. I know everyone is so excited, unless you're a comic and you're on the list. He's probably the last person you want to see.
Yeah, because he will stay up there for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, you're following Dave Chappelle.
Damn, Dave Chappelle is here. Damn it.
Okay,
Damn
going home.
It's always fun to photograph someone that you admire so much, and especially when it's like unexpected and they pop in.
Right.
It's like, wow, right?
Stand his ground, too, about, things. I love
Yeah,
that.
I agree.
That's great.
Cancel culture.
Everybody else is
Cancel.
Yeah, even the Pope said something about that. He said it's gone too far.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the zero tolerance.
Yeah.
exactly.
Well,
It's the zero tolerance. You should get 3 chances. Most people will stop doing whatever they do, and if you tell them not to do it anymore.
and it's a hobby to get. It's a big hobby to get pissed off on this thing.
Oh, yeah.
And
And word everybody up on social
you
media.
read a word and you go,
Yeah.
"That's forever," but it's not. Because the next day you wake up like, "Next."
Yeah.
That's what.
Right. Yeah, they're taking it too
Absolutely.
much.
Agreed. It'll level out.
Yeah.
All right, this one is for you, Kai.
Thank you.
A Danish artist who was given $83,000 worth of Danish kroner, I guess that's the currency,
Drugs.
Kroner.
To do a piece of artwork, and he gave him a blank canvas.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll just read the rest of it.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's it.
I knew about this.
Artwork, pocketed the cash and submitted 2 blank canvases titled "Take the Money and Run." This is what's great about artists,
Yeah, that's
because they don't have, art is art.
That's
You can't. You want to go to court? Fine.
Right.
It's going to get thrown out.
Yeah.
My interpretation of art may not be what you think,
It's true.
and so
Did they sell the blank canvases then? Did somebody buy those?
Did he sign them?
That's a funny
He's
guy.
completely blank.
Yeah. I wonder if he
What
signed
does
them.
it say? Take the money and run for an exhibition on labor and money. So there's a
Classic.
message there.
That's classic.
That's ballsy.
The Kunstner Museum of Modern Art commissioned artist Jens Henning to recreate previous work featuring real banknotes. After submitting the cashless canvas, Henning explained, the artwork is that I have taken the money is not theft. It is a breach of contract, and the breach of contract is part of the work. I love the way they always
That's
say
kind of
that.
cool.
Oh, it is.
Right,
Yeah.
And they have an
exactly.
explanation,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
They
yeah.
have a formidable explanation for what happened.
He won't get hired again, but
Or if he does, there'll be something in the contract about.
Oh, speaking of
but
paint,
now we know because we're talking about him. What's his next piece going to be?
yeah.
It's probably you've probably seen it and you didn't know because it's not there. Everything that's blank is now his work. He just fucking trademarked nothing. I love it.
I thought he was painting.
Painting about nothing.
Speaking of paint, I heard on the way over to the studio today
Yeah.
that Airbus has canceled $600 million of, or the Qatar. You know Qatar?
Rings a bell.
Yeah.
They, the country over there in the Middle
Yeah.
East bought $600 million worth of airplanes from Airbus, not Boeing.
Yep.
Airbus, and the paint is peeling. So then Boeing stopped the order or something, and they say it has to do with the airplanes now are in aluminum. They're that composite material,
Right.
and they're having trouble getting the paint maybe to adhere
Yeah.
to this new
Ever
surface.
had those like the kind of wafers that are called sugar cookies? You know, those little, like, it's kind of like that on the outside. You just poke it and you got to worry. Outside it won't crack, but inside.
They say the
Watch it.
plane is airworthy and everything, but it looks like
Sure.
it looks
Looks like fucking
Looks a bit old.
secondhand.
looks like Banksy painted it.
And you know,
Banksy.
Yeah.
Man in the know.
A Turkish construction worker was reported missing in a forest. Ended up joining the search party looking for himself.
That's classic. That's awesome.
Bayhan Mutala, 50, was drinking with his friends when he wandered off into the woods. His wife reported him missing after he didn't answer cell phone calls. The search party gathered, and when Muta saw them, he joined in. But when the searchers started shouting his name into the forest, he became confused and asked who they were looking for. I am here, he told them.
I wonder at what point along the way did he start maybe thinking, this kind of sounds like me, you know?
See, that's a real search party. They found who they're looking for.
So funny.
Let him keep going. Let him keep going
Yeah.
until I'm positive. It's
So
I
how
wonder
did,
how drunk you have to be to get to that level.
how did you apply for that job at the Comedy Store? Did you have to show them a portfolio, perhaps?
There's no application process. I mean, somebody actually asked me that, a customer, how did you apply? You know, this is the dream job, right? But actually, I was just kind of showing up during when it was closed and they were doing the shows outside, like through the window. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to shoot, but all the venues were actually closed. So I just showed up and I was shooting outside and, you know, sharing the photos on social media. And, you know, they really liked it, what I was doing.
Did they ask?
And they will
There's 4
come.
key words to get in that gig. I'll work for free. Start there.
Start there.
It is the way in for you know.
Yeah.
for
Did they
many-
ask you to
Initially.
see your camera?
No.
Hey.
No,
Have some respect.
so then actually one day out of the blue, Peter Shore emailed me and he was like, I love that you've been documenting the store during this time when we're, you know, closed, and I've created this archive of photos of what was happening.
Yeah. I mean I don't know if you've noticed, but what a facelift. They need some help on that social media front. They know how to put they know how to put comedians on the stage, but they don't know how to put a picture on Instagram.
Old school, man.
Photography, it's very important, you know.
Yeah, you
to-
make, and it helps the comedians up their profile. How many great photos have you had by her now?
Everyone has been very good.
Right? Like you want to use it as a press image as opposed to somebody sneaking around the back of the room. I think that's him up over there. It's hard to...
It sells. I mean, people have often, told me that they feel like they're there even when they're not there, and it makes them want to go and see their favorite comedians and come to the clubs. So
Yep. It increases their business.
it increases their business. It gives a life and a personality to.
I'm saying right now, any of you guys from the Comedy Store, double whatever it is she's getting because she deserves it. And I'm
Yeah.
sure that's
Thank
not
you.
even
I
enough.
second that. I'll call him right now.
Let's
Call
call
him
him.
right now.
Call him. I'll talk to
Get him on the
Richie,
line.
motherfucker.
So, which one of your specialties do you enjoy the most of all those different things? You're a musician, guitarist, right? Or what?
Yeah.
And
He likes going out on maneuvers in
photographer. You're into photography, just like Pamela, and art and paint and
he likes shooting.
sculpture as well.
Yes.
Album covers.
Yep.
Graphic design. I mean, man.
Right now, without a doubt, this new thing that came during COVID, my show called Life of Kii, it's everything in one. I do art releases, I interview and talk to people that I've worked with or don't know. Marianne Williamson, Sid Croft, Mark Mothersbaugh, Bill Burr was on an episode. But to be able to encapsulate everything in my life into one show, and I grew up as a TV baby, I think that's it.
PAC, right?
And didn't Bill just open up for you at the Comedy Store for the taping of your special?
Yes, I'm
He
very,
did.
very, very blessed to have somebody of his stature.
Your talent is just as worthy. You are an amazing character.
Better show up.
Like I just you were kind of making fun of your looks, but I can't stop looking at you. You're such a character.
He likes
Like
you.
I almost like I like your name
good,
Brian,
right?
but it's like for some reason Holtzman. Like, would you have a nickname?
In high school, it was Holtz.
Holtz.
They left out the man.
You are a character. You are like a Groucho, I'm trying
Yeah.
Your
trying to
nickname was
think
cool.
of like a Groucho for you. You got the mustache, you got the hair,
Right.
and then if you never, of course, you had to have seen him live. It's madness, and
Holtz
it's
is good.
awesome.
That's it. Holtz. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm having
Yeah.
fun with it, and the Comedy Store gives you the opportunity to have fun with it.
True.
There's no censorship. There's nobody tells me what I can or can't say.
That's a beautiful thing.
And I like just like you and anybody else who, you want to treat adults like adults.
Okay.
Really?
Absolutely.
And adults,
that how
if
you
they
do
don't
it?
want to be adults, then what can you do with an adult that's not acting like an adult?
You
If,
should put 'em on a
if that's
playpen.
a way of saying it,
No, I
Yeah.
get you.
I think a lot of the problems that are going on today in this country and maybe in the world is all the grown-ups are dead
Very true. That's why I have those refrigerator
to a
boxes.
certain extent.
Interesting.
All
Yeah.
the chatter, all the, you wonder
true.
what's in people's minds, but you can't
Oh,
call them out on it though.
so
Yeah.
Too
Oh, yeah.
because
sensitive.
once you
Oh,
call
yeah.
them out on them,
Look
then
out.
they double down
Yeah.
because no one wants to admit wrong. I mean, how many friends? This is a real
that's
trick.
a good point. Can I
Yeah.
just stop for 1 second?
Sure.
That point that you made, that the greatest minds that are alive right now aren't connected to the normal ways of communicating ideas. If we could connect those brains to the ideas, it would. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's curious. Like the wrong people have the microphone.
Right.
Like
And-
somebody
Oh,
take
they won't let the
Kanye's
they won't
fucking
let
mic
the.
away.
There's no
Absolutely.
alternative
That's correct.
theory. It's not allowed. It's
Yeah.
not allowed. But
I mean, I could listen to
Doing
you
good.
talk all day.
Yeah.
Because
doing good.
you're saying things, it's interesting,
Yeah.
and you have the history of it to draw from.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
I
you said
have-
that, Kai. That's why I wanted him to sit in.
He's great.
He's not only the engineer,
And
but
I'm-
I think
I
he's
mean,
a very
I'm
interesting
enter-
individual.
I mean, I'm an open-minded individual, but hey, guess what? It's called being a parent, not a friend. Okay, let's start there, and then things might get a little better.
Yeah, I get you there for
you know?
sure.
That's what
Knowing-
it is today.
knowing
Your kid
what
is your
no
friend.
is.
It's not your child; is your friend. And when you treat him like that, you're gonna have some problems.
Yep.
And about 16, that's when you're gonna have some real nice financial problems with the lawyer and he in jail and whoa, watch out. Because he don't know nothing about the law and everything, you know what I'm saying? Like that.
This is for you. This is for you, Kai.
Wow.
Because
like
I know
all
you're
this.
into 60s and 70s.
I'm so
and what-
impressed. I just really got to take a picture of your notes and your process just while we do it.
Boy, you better watch this guy, man. He's coming at you hard.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. And the red phone. Perfect. Thank you.
This is a book that's copyrighted in 1952. This was Red Band's favorite segment when I was doing Dead Air
Yep.
in Burbank and
Great guy,
in
Red Band.
Austin. Oh, yeah. What a talent he is.
So nice.
And it's
What an
called...
appetite.
It says Everyday Handbooks. I guess it's a series of books about things. Anyway, it's from Barnes & Noble, copyrighted 1952. It says Letters for All Occasions. And you can read these letters and you can see how the language has kind of deteriorated.
Absolutely.
How they wrote back then. Sports pages,
And values get some.
even on the news, Kai. Listen to this. The first word out of all the newscasters' mouth when they go from correspondent to correspondent, studio to the street, what have you, is yeah. How easy is it to say yes? And how great does yes? And I find
Sound.
myself saying
I
yeah
dig
once in a
that.
while, but yes is just a beautiful thing to say as opposed to yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're dolled up. They got nails. They got dresses. They look 100. And then
Yeah.
they say yeah. The first thing out of their mouth is yeah.
It's a little sloppy.
Yeah, you haven't seen
I think it is. I think it
is too,
If
too.
you're on TV, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
I try not to say it. I prefer you are correct.
One of
Something
the-
a little bit more with
Or
authority.
that is so.
Okay, so like
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That is one of my biggest
Respectful.
pet peeves.
Those are letters for any occasion, meaning like
Any occasion. And,
You
I've
have one like you want to tell a friend to just go.
and I've selected one because of who you are.
Is there a final thing where you can say, hey, write you this letter and that's it, bro. We done. That's what the normal vernacular would be these days. So what does it say in there?
This one is for Kai. There's been a lot of things for Kai. Well, I try to cater each show to my guests, So this is these are letters of this particular section is letters of application.
Okay.
So you'll find this interesting. And again, this is a copyrighted 1952 book. A guide to social and business correspondence with 300 model letters and telegrams.
One quick question. Did anyone ever copyright?
That's a good one.
Continue.
Wow.
One of your
Maybe I could start a band called Trademark.
trademark.
Dear Sir, in the belief that my qualifications and experience fit me for the position of assistant art director of your advertising agencies, as outlined in your want ad in today's Clarion, I enclose a record that makes a long letter unnecessary. You will find that the enclosure tells its own story. I do, however, desire to call special attention to 2 points. Number one, I have the variety of experience that you emphasize as one of the requirements for the position that you wish to fill. I just love the way they wrote.
I mean, I'm hired. You could even fuck up at this point, and I'm thinking about hiring this person.
2, the reputation of the firms for which I have worked proves that I am capable of meeting high standards. May I have an interview at your convenience? Very truly yours, William D. Dorns. And here's the enclosure. Professional record of William D. Dorns. My 10 years experience qualifies me to fill a position of assistant art director with taste, speed, and accuracy. The following are highlights, details of which I will gladly furnish if you are interested. Layouts for Direct Mail magazine. I don't know how good this podcast is for the listeners right now, but I find it interesting.
I'm captivated
You know what I
by
mean?
this.
Yeah.
Some people are reaching for the rope.
Yeah.
I'm confused
But,
where the pinball gun comes in.
With a billion podcasts out there, they can always
Right.
switch to another podcast. I
I
mean,
can turn the channel. Huh?
Well, this is relevant. There are a lot of job seekers.
Right. Don't have to be tap dancing 24/7 in life.
Right,
Some
Keep it up
things.
on that
This is
social
good for the
media
job
thing.
seekers, though.
Just
Clouds go by slow, and they're
Yeah,
pretty
keep it up on that
magnificent.
social media. Tony, go come see
man,
you.
are they? That's one of the things I like about flying. And you're up there looking at all the cloud formations and stuff.
Can't you always photograph
day,
them and
yeah.
you're disappointed because you missed the 3-dimension.
When you're in them, they're cool though.
And last night was
Yeah,
nice too
nice
with
picture.
the wind.
All gray.
The Santa Ana winds blew last night, so
was
the stars
blowing
were
last
really
night.
It
bright.
was
My 10 years experience
Cool.
qualifies me to fill the position of assistant art director with taste, speed, and accuracy. The following are highlights, details of which I will gladly furnish if you are interested. Layouts for direct mail, magazine, and newspaper advertising, from classified and small space to full page, and from visuals through comps. I don't know what that means, COMPS. For 3 years, I've created 75 layouts a month of individual newspaper ads for 2 national beauty salon chains, as well as a full-page ad in trade and fashion magazines. My present layout work also includes posters, packages, labels, and displays for a line of cosmetics, house, organs, promotional material, and instruction charts. So this guy's doing everything.
Signed, Andy Warhol.
It could be, huh? As regards production of the above mentioned layouts into completed jobs, I have selected to type, ordered paper, printing, and engravings.
He's starting to lose the job.
And directed. You think
He's a
it's
lot
going
of
too
work.
far?
He's a lot of
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
He's
Starting to get in the mud there.
like, okay, buddy.
Slowing down a little
We
bit.
get the point.
Don't invite him to dinner.
Paint, engraving, directed. Yeah, you must go to a lot of nice dinner parties, huh?
I don't know. I don't know.
Everybody wants to have an artist at the dinner party.
I don't know. I guess.
No, I'm not coming to mine.
Jeez. That's one thing I envy about having a place where you can invite 10 or 12 people over and have dinner and have that seems to be like be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's not the
Yeah.
man.
Eating and drinking and talking, having a great
I
conversation.
go every
Yes.
time you invite me.
Jeez.
Have you ever tried Symmetry? Because it's great. Nobody shows up. You have your party to yourself. It's nice. It's nice and peaceful.
You're right. I think this guy's going too far. I have
Yeah.
selected type, ordered paper,
Like
printed,
he's-
engraving,
He's turning into work.
directed chain, basis distribution, and done the cost accounting of the whole process. So this guy does it all. I have made my layouts, dummies, preparation, and production for offset and letterpress, and process a working knowledge of other reproduction process. Last paragraph. My present work must
Another
meet.
paragraph.
My
But
present
didn't the
wo-
first paragraph say this is going to be
Holy
short?
cow.
Who's going to be superseded by the second
Like-
paragraph, which is going to be superseded by the third paragraph?
Exactly.
Somebody hired
Followed
this
by a
man just to shut him
bibliography.
up.
That's right. The whole thing.
My
Footnotes right at the end.
My present work must
Forward
see-
written by.
must meet the
Yeah.
requirements of more than 100
Reagan.
department stores. At the same time, function on a chain basis. Themes, ideas, and copy interpretation are largely original, but contact men have complimented me on my ability to put the suggestions effectively on paper. My 10 years in this field include. Why is he looking for a job then?
Sally, can you get
Why
in
is he
here?
looking for a job?
Excuse me, Sally, you get in here. I'm going to give you
People
this
couldn't
ring.
take him anymore, right?
Can you read the rest of this letter?
They gotta go. You gotta get out of here. Take your paints and get the fuck
Get the fuck out of here!
You're wasting so much of my time. I can't get nothing done.
Boy, but that's not true. It's true about a lot of different things that people do.
That's like a big deal these days, really. Like a lot of wasted time.
Yeah.
Going into stuff. I mean, how long have you been on hold when you're calling somebody these days?
Oh, my God.
Versus 3 years ago. Hello, can I help you? Yes, sir.
Don't
We'll
get
get right
me
to it.
started.
brother.
And
What
then
I've been
nobody
through
has the
since
answer.
November.
No, we're short.
And they
staffed.
move you around,
Hang on.
yeah.
Your estimated wait time is 82 minutes.
And you don't have an answer in the end.
And
Yeah.
you can use the chat. Let's use the chat.
Oh, my
And the
God.
chat's just a bot. It has pre-programmed responses. And you don't get any answers. And then 5 hours later, you're just so frustrated. You just go, well, I'm just going to throw it in the trash and buy a new one because you can't get it working.
What about the White Album? The Beatles' White Album is kind of like they didn't have to hire anybody for that, did they?
You know, they just hired that artist from Denmark.
Yeah, that's a brilliant,
Maybe he owes money.
I wonder if they
to-
save money because they didn't have to use much printing ink. on
Do you
the
think
cost of it.
Banksy is ever going to be? They're ever going to find out who he is?
There's people who think
know.
they know who he is.
Yeah, I think he's been kind of outed, right?
Yeah.
I
But
love
I,
it.
We
yeah,
know.
but I'll keep it quiet.
Yeah.
I love it when he does a door and then
Luigi
they find
knows
out it's a
who it is.
Banksy and they
Luigi
take the
knows.
door off the hinges
Yeah,
and then they
they
take
do.
it home.
Man.
Yeah.
They cut out brick
Yeah.
walls when he
Right,
touches
right.
them.
They do.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I love it.
By the way, this is the beauty of the internet now. They say send a link to your portfolio
Yeah.
instead of writing that whole thing.
Yeah.
They
Did
say
you
send
know?
us a link to see your work. You
There
know?
it
Right.
is.
Right.
And that's how they're auditioning actors now and actresses. They
Well-
want you to film yourself on
Yeah.
your phone and send it in.
Oh, Right.
Wow.
I had a call for an art director the other day. They said send us a 2-minute video of yourself. They didn't ask. We
Wow.
want to see a video of you.
Well, that sounds a little iffy. That sounds more like a Hollywood casting couch
Well,
kind of scenario.
that says a
Yeah.
lot too. What you commit yourself to, what will it be? It's not easy making that video.
Right. It's not
Right.
easy.
I would imagine you get most of the parts that people ask you to try out for.
Yeah.
No,
Am I
I'm
right?
really, I'm not good at the,
The interview part?
the audition.
Because I'll bet on
Well-
set you're just like, who's
Well, it's not easy being sleazy.
dude's pulling focus
Some
left
work
and
to
right.
that, yeah.
I see what's happening.
But so, what can you tell us about your experience now in Los Angeles? What is one of your big pet peeves? What do you like? Maybe what do you dislike, and how do you like it? This is your first time to LA? From
Yeah,
New
yeah.
York?
I mean, I'd visited a few times.
Where are you originally from?
Buffalo.
Oh, wow.
So grew up in Buffalo, spent a lot of time Buffalo, Toronto.
Nice.
Lived a few years in South Florida. My family's all in South Florida now, and then I
Hell
went to New York
yeah.
because New York I needed to get into the art scene and feel some excitement. So I went to New York, and I was there for 10 years working on Wall Street, doing creative work for the financial firms.
She went to CS, Culture Starvation.
And St. Paul,
St. Paul, Minnesota. Great place.
That's why you excel. Because
Minneapolis.
When it's
Everybody
brutal.
kind of moves to Minneapolis.
Yeah.
When you turn 18 or whatever. And then you got to get out if you're. If it's tough to make an art career in a place where the main thing is keeping people warm.
Right. That's true.
But you come to Los Angeles and it's a melting pot of every culture.
Yeah, but you have an unfair advantage.
And it's weird and it's freaky and
But you have an unfair advantage
because I have the work ethic.
That's it. You got to go shovel that snow, get that car
That's
going.
right.
It's our
right.
work ethic.
good.
Typically
Plus,
for people back east and
Good set of parents helped as
Yeah.
well.
when was your what?
proper parenting.
What was your project? One of the projects, or maybe a few of the projects, maybe the album covers or what have you, or that you felt that wow, I can see now. This is I hate to use the word break, but when did you turn that corner? What do you remember? A project that sticks out in your mind that you said, "Hey, this is," because it's once
Like
you get the big clients, you know, and the word of mouth goes around. The Steven Seagal was a karate instructor, and the guy got him into movies, and that's how that happened.
Right.
He was training celebrities how to do martial arts, and some guy said, "Well, why don't we make you a movie star? Why don't you do a movie?" And so
Oddly enough,
it helps.
Oddly enough, next month, Flood Magazine is doing a 10-page story on me. And I brought David Lynch to the fold as the cover and designed the cover of it.
Lynch.
I don't
Nice.
know him personally, but he knows my art. And I did a piece of art for an event they did, and I got free meditation. And the woman who taught him. And when they were looking to get David Lynch, I just reached out and said, "Hey, I've been told I'm going to do this cover." But what I'm saying is this article and being able to do David Lynch on the cover, for me, is going to be like that. Okay. I haven't pursued press like some might. So it always kind of happens organically for me like this did. And I think this is the milestone for me. And I feel like my art, I'm excited because it continues. This is a piece I made a year ago, and it's probably one of my best pieces, but continues to grow. But I would say the one moment where it really hit was when I was in Pigeon Forge at Dolly Parton's place, photographing her for the day for the album cover that I concepted and also photographed.
So you do the whole thing. You do it from conception to photograph to album cover.
Through
The whole damn thing.
Through having to, because you know how many times I've been involved with something where there's a photographer that just doesn't get it.
Right.
Oh yeah.
They just don't get the right
Unbelievable.
angle. I'm
Yep.
like, give me your camera.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so what I
Tell you
did
how to
is I just brought a professional photographer and I said, dude, I'm going to set up this shot. You just hand me the camera and make sure that this shit stays in focus because that's all. And that's the way I did it.
And where was the name of the town you were at? Where's that?
Pigeon Forge. That's
Where's that?
her home is in the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee, you know.
It's near the Bronx.
And she was nice, huh? She was easy to work with.
Fucking phenomenal. Total pro.
Total professional.
Total pro.
Mm-hmm.
All the negative press in the beginning of her career, she turned it all around. She gave them all the answers.
Yeah,
If they didn't
she
expect
just-
what they were going to get, and she turned
She's
negative.
a fireball.
She knew
she's a
exactly. It gives me
fireball.
the chills talking about. They had her on the television and they were profiling her, and that was one
I
of the
was
things.
fired by her too.
Consider
But at
that,
the end of that project, I was fired by her. And then I wrote a letter 2 years later. I couldn't stand it.
What was her grievance?
It was my mistake. I, in the record,
Zero tolerance, I
Backwards
guess.
Barbie, there was this picture that she has wallpaper that's made out of newspaper. That's kind of what her grandmother did, and I thought it was kind of cool. So I photographed the wall, and then I decided to put that where the CD is. And in the center of the CD, there's a little nub that has those like little slices that hold the CD in there. And there was a picture in the newspaper of somebody that we probably didn't have clearance to use. And I looked for like a photo of somebody that looked like a criminal, and I had a shitty fucking photo of myself where it was done in a photo booth where I looked just awful, and I put that in there. And when you looked at the final package, you could only see like this much of me, so you didn't know it was me. But when the CDs came back, the technology had it where that centerpiece was completely clear. There I was in the center of Dolly Parton's CD, and
she wasn't
dumb.
feeling that.
Nope. And I
so.
get it, and that was really.
you
Not
get-
only was it like that moment in my life, but it was the moment where I had to completely disconnect the ego and realize what the better purpose is, and don't even put myself in that.
Take
position.
responsibility.
I should have put my uncle or somebody, but anyway, that was difficult. And you know how many times you hear country, every time I heard a country song, it ripped my heart out. Like fucking, especially the Whitney Houston version, just when that pause hits, I'm like, no, I fucked up. The biggest icon and probably music alive. And then I finally reached back to the manager and I said, man, you gotta let me apologize. I wrote a letter, and that was 2 years after, and about a month after I wrote the handwritten letter, I got a call from the manager, and he goes, hey man, we just got off the plane, and Dolly read your letter, and she's got two things that I'm going to tell you now. She goes, number one, you're forgiven. And number two, will you design her next record?
Wow.
Go
That's
ahead.
called getting out of the thick end of
Go
the
ahead,
bat.
Pamela. We're gonna get cut off here soon. Tell us if you want to plug anything. Anything you want to say? I told you we were going to run out of time. This is what
Yeah.
happens when you have
Talk
good dinner conversation.
Yeah, that's
just a
great.
relaxing. Do you want to plug anything?
I would just say, come out to the Comedy Store and come enjoy some shows, and we'll take some photos. And
What's your
you know,
Instagram?
Pamela.Sisson, and I have a website, PamelaSisson.com, and I'm available if you want to reach me, DM for some photo shoots, and we'll do it.
Pamela and spell her last name.
Sisson, Sisson.
Wonderful. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so
Kai,
much.
give us your plugs and everything that's going
Sure.
on.
Life of Kai. Excited about that show that's coming out. You can get that on. I have kind of hidden links because I don't. Anyway, there are hidden links on my website,
Easter eggs.
KiiArens.com, my name. And follow me on Instagram at Kii Arens, KiiArens. Much more to come.
Much more to come. Much more to
Music,
come.
videos. I'm going on tour in
Great.
England and Scotland at the end of
Man,
that
April.
we're
ought to
just
be a
busy
blast.
as all heck.
As an
huh?
opening act, I've never sang just me. I've always been in a
cool.
band,
That's cool.
and I'm kind of nervous, but I'm going to
That
go
works really
open
well,
for
actually.
James Bourne.
The solo thing up
Oh,
front.
you are? Okay,
Yeah.
you're going
Yeah.
with James.
Yeah, James invited
James is
me.
a good friend of ours.
Yeah, we all met together.
I met James back in New York.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
James.
James
James
Bourne.
Bourne.
He's
A
a
musician,
great singer.
guitarist, fantastic. And
Yeah.
I met him back in New York, and I photographed him here a few times. And
Cool.
he
cool.
does artwork for him and
Yep.
with him.
Did his album covers.
Yeah.
Thank you, Charlie, for sitting in.
Charlie!
And all your
For having
technical
me.
ability.
I sincerely appreciate
And
it. Yes.
thank you for this great artwork.
Hey, man.
This makes me very, very happy because
The amount of
Yeah,
times
that's
you've made me
amazing.
laugh and didn't know I was in the room.
There you go.
man,
That's amazing. Look at it. It's like all like I don't know what do you call that.
David Bowie. I don't know anybody who's not a fan of David Bowie.
It's got the
Holographic.
hieroglyphic thing in it. See,
Yeah.
when you hold it in the light, it just get different
Bowie's
colors.
amazing.
Yeah, it's good.
Man. So let's just.
So you were gonna get into Snip Tricky and the Boo Boo Kitty or no? Not today.
Snip Tricky and the Boo Boo. What?
Snip Tricky and the Boo Boo Kitty.
What's that? Is that
That was a
music?
story you had, but I guess we don't have time for that.
Okay.
Today, so we'll move on.
You want to hear about George Clooney?
Definitely.
The wires are, the
you know,
wires
I
are
can
fine.
pass on that one.
Charlie, you're doing a great job with the wires.
I want to hear about George Clooney.
George Clooney's trademark salt and pepper hair is now mostly salt, said so-and-so and
Yeah.
so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. The actor turned 60 in May, celebrating with friends at the Los Angeles home where he spent lockdown. Turning 60 is a bum, he says, but it's that or dead. After the party, Clooney chatted with his wife, human rights lawyer Amel, about getting older. I still play basketball with the younger gang. I feel good, but in 20 years, I'm 80, and 80 is a real number. I said the next 20 years are Helican, and we need to celebrate that. Clooney also has been taking stock in what it means to be famous in the 21st century. 3 years ago, he was riding his motorcycle in Italy, I guess, or someplace, going 75 miles an hour when a car turned in front of him and sent him flying over the handlebars. I was waiting for my switch to turn off. Lying on the ground and screaming, he realized a crowd of people had gathered around, not to help, but to film Clooney with their phones.
Oh my god!
If you're in the public eye, what you realize when you're on the ground thinking it's the last minute of your life is that for some people it's just entertainment
That's
for their
right.
Facebook page.
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive. I'm a pretty positive guy, but that told me clearly that you really are here just for their entertainment.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Nobody
That's
makes
wild.
it. None of us will make it out alive. You know that.
Did you see that? Speaking of motorcycle accidents, did you see that one the other day?
I did.
Oh, the one where
yeah,
the
the
dude goes,
crash
God.
and
he
explosion.
died?
The motorcycle
The flip?
exploded.
He's fine. He's fine until he stops.
Yeah, it just stops is really the problem.
When he's
through the
airborne,
air
he's
thing, that's
perfectly
just-
fine. It's
Yeah.
it's when he
Fine.
stops.
it.
It's the final.
That's it.
That's when the problems all occur.
Yeah, so that's what happened here and here and there. It was a 26-foot in the air thing on the bike. Wow. Who moved the jump? Wow. This should be a nice little mellow.
Here's a little wisdom. Laughter is a protest scream against death. Mel Brooks.
That's good.
Laughter is a protest scream against death. The passion for setting people right is in itself an afflictive disease.
I love that.
Oh fuck yeah! I'm gonna text that to my friend who can't stop sending me stuff
It's
about
just- isn't it
being
great?
vegetarian.
Isn't it great to just like have a one or two sentences like bada bada bap bap, and it just annihilates people. There's
Will you
like,
say
oh,
that
God.
again?
Sure. I can give it to you afterwards.
Okay, we can do
We're
that.
taking notes.
I don't need to be
And writing
texting
stuff down.
on your show.
No. I just want to get the rest. Go through the rest of them before we get played off by Bad Ashley. That's how we're going to end it.
All right.
We've decided that would be the best way to end it. Just cut us off.
Badass anytime. But
Bad Ashley, you really
Hope your
great
thing's still in
people.
record.
Man, the people of you must have met. You met all the
Yeah.
heavy hitters. Man,
some cool ones, man.
Yeah.
how long you been in L.A.? Living
17 years.
Wow,
But
great.
honestly, our generation experienced probably the best times of America. I mean, it just between
Yeah.
the ages that we've lived.
Yours.
Yeah, it was great.
More so.
Yeah, rock star. Took it away.
A conference is a gathering of important people who seemingly can do nothing, but together can decide that nothing can be done.
Oh, I love what
Accurate.
you're doing. Where are you getting this?
Not forgiving is like drinking rat poison and then waiting for the rat to die. Not forgiving,
Okay.
and this is why most people are in therapy, in my opinion.
It's not forgiving.
They haven't turned it over.
Yeah.
The
No matter how dastardly it may
Yeah.
be.
It has to
let
be
it go.
forgiven.
Yeah.
It has to be turned over.
Yeah.
People get their loved ones murdered, and they forgive the murderer.
Yeah.
And they don't do that for the murderer. They do that for themselves.
Right.
It's for themselves.
And there are other times when you have to put that turtle shell on your back and just let the water run off.
People are in therapy because of their childhood. There's no
Yeah.
book on how to raise kids.
They're in
There's no
therapy.
manual.
There's no
They're
manual.
in
no.
therapy because they won't do that
There's
self-evaluation.
no
thing.
freaking how to.
Yeah.
You have to let it go. You don't want to carry that.
It's called
stress,
self-evaluation,
and
some people need to
At
get
50, everyone has the face he deserves. George Orwell.
Oh, look at this.
The length of a film should be directly related to the endurance of the human bladder.
What? Oh, yeah.
This podcast would probably be the same too.
As you get older, that meaning becomes more pronounced.
Alfred Hitchcock said
That's
that.
good.
And he hated actors and actors. He wished he could do it without them.
God,
Nowadays, you can.
he was evil.
The problem with putting
Birds.
2 and 2 together is
Yep.
that sometimes you get 4 and sometimes you get 22.
That goes right along with that. Everybody gets a gold star thing. No, one person gets a
Hey,
gold
would you
star.
come back?
Damn
Would you,
straight.
would you come back?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Would you come back,
fascinating.
Pamela?
Yes, of course.
You'll definitely come back, huh?
Me? If I'm still here, yeah.
What an interesting case.
Would you do a bit on my show?
Oh, heck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
There you go.
All right, cool.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
think of the perfect thing.
I got some chainsaws if you need them. You can juggle them.
A non-binary female deer,
What?
which was shot by hunters in Missouri after the doe's impressive 16-point set of antlers caused them to mistake her for a buck.
Yeah.
Wildlife experts say the only one doe in 10,000 has this gender fluid mutation.
What happened to
And
the hunter?
Or it is now on the wall at the hunter's house.
Somebody's probably going to try to cancel the hunter.
Yeah.
Why not? It's so much
But
fun.
he's got that one room. He's got the binary room. She's in there with the trophies. You know? So that way you don't have to bring your other hunting buddies in there because, boy, they're going to word you up about that one, let me tell you.
Foghat.
That ain't no real buck.
Oh, God. That guy can sing.
It looks like a buck, though, Jim. I don't know.
Sometimes I get that confused with
I'm
Nazareth.
so confused about that. Yeah.
A woman created a stir. You might have heard about this one. A woman created a stir on Delta Airlines flight by breastfeeding her pet cat mid-flight and refusing requests to stop. Why would you have to, stop? Just don't look at her.
I would look.
You could look at her, but why would you
my
demand
right
that she stop if she's not bothering anybody? See, this is the problem, I guess. I was thinking, wow, why would you do
Hey.
that? That would be a problem, but
It's my right to look.
I mean, that is a wild one. I'm just like,
It is wild.
I mean, one guy just couldn't get over it. He couldn't handle it. He was
He got some music. Oh, no. Oh, no.
it was the breastfeeding that did it.